Today we are going to start on my apple pie balls. So we have a contraption here. I'm using my KitchenAid with an attachment that will core and peel my apples. Now I had one of those that you stick down, a manual one that you stick down to your tables, but out of frustration I threw that thing away because no matter what I did with that suction cup, wet it, whatever, it would not stay stuck, and it just becomes so frustrating. I said, you know what? They make a attachment for my KitchenAid, so let's just go for that, and that's what I did. So I haven't used this before. It's my first time, but I got it all set up here with the core attachment and the peeling attachment. I think I got it done right. So let's put our apple on there. Let's see how it works. That's all we can do. Put our apple on there. Make sure that's tightened. Put that on. I got it on stir. We'll see how that works. I don't think there's anything else I need to do. I could have just at least released that and got it closer like that. That's what I should have done. Save all that time. Oh, I'm not slicing. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm slicing it. There you go. Let's see. Slide that back. What I'm going to do is pull out these peels because I'm going to put those in my compost bin. Leave the rest in there. Well, that was pretty easy. Let's pull this out of the way completely. I don't think I got that on there all the way. Yeah, I didn't. Alright, well, that's compost. So, try it again. On. Slide it forward. Press start. I do make and I have it in my kit, a smaller core. I might swap that out here on the next apple and we'll see how that works. I just want to make sure I get all the core out. Alright. Get off any pieces with this skin on it, might as well. If we're taking it out. Alright, my apples are already starting to turn a little bit brown, so let's get some juice on that. Okay, let's get this cleaned up and I will move on to the next step. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, got that all washed and dried. Just wanted to show you guys what this kit comes with. It comes with 4 different blades. your peeler, your spike, and the attachment, and pretty good value for money, I think, in my opinion. So I'm going to put a link to that in my Amazon store, which you can find in the description box, and it'll be in the Amazon store if anybody's interested. It comes in a nice little storage container. Just put it away in that, and that way you won't lose none of your accessories. Put it away for the next time. Just like that. So that's what it looks like. And let's move on. Here's my apples. Okay. So my apples have been soaking in this lime water. They turned a little bit brown, but it don't really matter because we are going to be freeze drying them and coating them in chocolate anyway. So I'm just going to put my apple slices in there in my blender. Pull out any peels that I missed. I mean, you can do it with the peels on, but I just don't like the texture of the peels of freeze-dried fruit. It's just a preference thing. Alright, let me pulse that and get rid of that, get that knocked down a little bit. What I'm going to do is take about half a cup of that water that we've been soaking in, and add that to that. Move it nicely. Now I'm going to take 3/4 of a cup of sugar and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Mix that in there. Alright. Let's see where we're at. We're there already. That's about perfect. Oh yeah. It's not too sweet because we're going to be adding chocolate, but you got that great cinnamon apple flavor. Alright, so let's get this cleared off and I'll be right back. Alright, people keep asking where I get the link for my molds for the balls, and it's in my stores, but people don't recognize it because the one that I got, when it's linked, it's a big sheet like that. And what I did is I just took a pair of scissors and cut that down the middle like that. That way I can put them in my tray and transfer them to the freezer a lot easier. So that's probably where people aren't recognizing it, but that will be in my Amazon store if you're interested in looking at that. Alright, so let's get these poured. And I'm just going to pour it from the measuring cup. I'm going to fill each mold about 3/4 full, hopefully, leaving room for our crust. Which in my opinion is a very important part to this. Alright, so that's number 2. So what I like to do is give these a big tap to get all that to settle down. Here's another spoon I didn't use. That way we can look and see if we can make room for some more graham cracker crust, and make sure everything's full. If you don't get it packed solidly like that, you're not going to end up with a pretty ball. Round ball. So that's what I do. Alright, there's one. Alright, we'll get these into the freezer. This leftover that I have here tastes delicious, so I'm going to put that in a sealed bowl container and put it in the fridge and eat it as an applesauce. It's delicious. So I got me a packet of graham crackers. Let's open those, throw them in my Ziploc bag here. Get our handy dandy husband beater. Turn these into powder. Alright, that being done, let's transfer those to the bowl. Aside because I can use that again. I got a cup of tap water there. Let's get those all mixed up into a sloppy runny goo. If you haven't watched any of my other ball videos, the reason we do this and add so much water is because that water sublimates from the product and it leaves a very airy graham cracker crust. The less water you put in it, the harder that is to bite into. And I find with one packet of the graham crackers and 1 cup of water makes a nice, airy, pleasant to bite into crust. Just want everything to get nice and incorporated there. No lumps. Get it nice and smooth as possible. Alright. Now we'll just take this and kind of spread it on there a little bit. I'll start with that. Take my spatula out and fill each one of those molds with, or top them off really, with the runny graham cracker sauce. So these balls had been in the freezer for a few hours, couple hours. They're pretty well firmed up. Don't want to do this too early before they've frozen too much, or it ends up getting mixed in with, in this case, apple pie filling. So you want them to be nice and firm, but maybe not totally frozen, although I don't think it matters because it seems to stick to pretty well anyway. There we go. They look good. That's one tray. Let's do the other one. That's all there is to it. I'll get those. I missed a bit here. Don't want no. I'll get these in the freezer, get them frozen solid, and then we'll get them pop them out of the molds. So next time you see these, they'll be definitely coming out of the molds, probably overnight. Get them nice and frozen solid. I'll see you then. Okay, here we go. They've been in the freezer overnight, frozen solid. So let's pop them out of the molds. The more you use these molds, the easier it gets to get these out. At the beginning, it can be kind of hard. But now it's used so much, I've used it so much that it's pretty easy to pop them out. Alright, there's one tray. There you have it. We get those back in the freezer so they don't thaw out. I'll fire up the freeze dryer and pop these in when it tells me to. And next time you see it, they'll be coming out of the freeze dryer. I'll see you then. Okay, there you have it. My apple pie balls. Been in the freeze dryer for 40 plus hours. Let's get them packaged up. Again, like always, I never really coat these the day that I take them out. No, mostly because I got other things in the freeze dryer that I need to package. So let's get these sealed up in a bag. I'm not going to put an O2 absorber on this because I am not going to be long on doing these. I'm not going to waste one. Put my seal on that. Put those away until we're ready to cook those in chocolate. Next time you see these, we'll be dipping them in chocolate. I'll see you then. Okay, we're finally getting around to dipping these. So I have my melted Ghirardelli white chocolate chips here that I thinned out a little bit with my vegetable lard, or some, as one viewer noted, it's shortening, not lard, but Grandma and everybody, when it first came out, that was what it was called, vegetable lard. It was referred to as vegetable lard, and it's just a habit. So we thin that out. But what I want to do is I got me, because I tasted those apple things after we freeze dried them, and it had an apple flavor, but not a strong apple flavor, and not wanting to repeat my blueberry disappointment for the blueberry flavor. I got some apple flavor super strength from Amazon, and we are going to, and I don't know if this is going to mix well because it is alcohol based with the chocolate, so I might end up ruining my chocolate here, but I'm going to try and put some apple flavoring in my chocolate. We'll start off with 1/4 teaspoon. See what that does, number one, to the chocolate. It seems to have mixed in very well. Let's give that a taste. Put another 1/4 teaspoon in there. I want a distinct apple flavor to my chocolate. Try that. One more 1/4, because I can definitely taste it now. I think one more 1/4 will do it. I'm going to put the lid on that. See, I've used that one. I haven't used these. Get that mixed in. Give that a taste. Yeah, that just boosted the flavor a little bit. Alright, let's get my pie balls open. There's my glorious freeze-dried apple pie balls. That looks pretty thick actually, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, it is a little bit thicker than normal, but it'll work. Drop that on our parchment paper. Definitely thicker. I didn't put as much vegetable oil in here because I didn't know what the vegetable shortening, because I didn't know what the apple flavoring was going to do to it. That's funny. Again, we are coating this and we're making sure there are no holes in the coating. That's critical, because that is what stops it from going soft. It just prolongs how long you can store that by quite a bit. I might end up putting some lard in this, because I'm not sure I'm going to have enough if I don't. Alright, I got some green sugar sprinkles. I'm going to sprinkle on that. Well, it's still a little bit damp. We can identify those. I'm going to put some more lard on that, so I will be right back. I'm going to put another teaspoon in there. Okay, let's try that again. A little bit runnier. Let's see how that works out. In with the bone. Oh yeah, it's covered a lot quicker. Oh yeah, I think that's it. It's a little bit too thick at the first. So, I'll get the rest of these done. I'll finish dipping these. As I do one row on my tray, I sprinkle them with the green sugar crystals. And that's just so we can identify them at a later date as being apple pie. So let me get these all dipped and I'll be right back. If you see me fishing around in here with these balls, let me show you why I'm doing that. It's not critical, but the ball actually has a natural bottom from sitting in the mold, you know, when we molded that. So if you can, I try and get that flat part on the bottom of the ball when I'm coating it. That's why I'm kind of fishing around trying to get to that flat end to where it's on the bottom of my fork to shake off the excess chocolate. Like that. Alright. Let's sprinkle that with some green. Alright. Now let's get our remaining chocolate, and I'm just going to drizzle that with my fork. Alright. So, all I got to do now is let those set and get hardened, and I'll clean this all up and we'll be right back. Alright, we got that mess all cleaned up. I am going to now take these and trim these, any of the excess chocolate. Could solidify a little bit longer, they'll be alright. And there they are, my apple pie balls dipped in chocolate. Let's see what they taste like. Oh man, oh yeah, those came out perfect. You see those? Oh. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, as you recall, I added apple flavoring to the chocolate That was because that was a hindsight for me, but the advantage for me doing this video for you is I would add this to the apple, pureed apple, and freeze it that way and not put it in with the chocolate. So I think it did something to my chocolate. It just don't seem to be setting up as hard. These are really good. If you follow that recipe that I gave you, only difference being is adding the apple flavoring, and I think it does need the apple flavoring, just to up that apple a little bit, and it only adds a little bit of flavoring, but it's just enough to where those just taste just like you're eating apple pie, to be honest with you. The cinnamon's there, the sugar's there, the tart appleness is there because thanks to that real apples and the apple flavoring, and it's like having ice cream, a nice scoop of ice cream with your hot apple pie by dipping it in that white chocolate. These are absolutely gorgeous. Like I say, the chocolate, oh man. Chocolate has not set on these as hard as the other chocolate did on all my other ones. And the only difference I did was add flavoring to this one. Let's see what the ingredients are. I mean, if you had an oil flavoring, it wouldn't be no worry at all. Contains propylethylene glycol, artificial flavors, and triacetin. Super strength flavoring, 4 times stronger than standard extracts. Ideal for candies, fudges, frostings, baking, and more. Gluten-free and sugar-free. Highly concentrated, keep out of reach of children. So I don't know, they're just, I mean, it could be because it's a super humid day today too. But my chocolate just don't seem to be going as hard as it normally is by now. But, oh man. This is what we call a super winner. This is right up there with the strawberries, let me tell you. Beautiful, perfect blending of seasoning. I am super happy with this one. I hope you enjoy this one. It's a bit of a busy day for me today. After finish recording this, I'm going to jump right into recording, prepping my next video. And God willing, I'll see you in a week with that recipe. It's a customer suggested recipe who sent me a recipe and I'm going to try it. So we're going to jump into that. I hope you enjoyed this video. You've got to try these. You've really got to try these. Follow the recipe like I did, except for add the apple flavoring, and I think it needs that, to the pureed apples. You're not going to go wrong. These are delicious. I'll see you next time.